So yesterday, I got lost and I slept in this guy's shed. In the morning, they had like the best driving roads ever, and I was trying to go 300 kilometers yesterday, which is super aggressive. And then once it was mountain roads, I kind of knew it. And then I get lost. About 45 minutes in, I realize that I get lost, and then I ask the locals where to go, and they insist I keep going in the direction that I am going, instead of heading backwards because they think it's faster. So I'm like, all right. So I follow this guy, and then he turns from this like a regular paved road to this like dirt ramp that goes up at like more than 45 degrees, and the entrance to this ramp is like just like a rock, and there's a ditch to like drain the water. So I crash into the ditch and I break my clutch lever and my left turn signal. So they fix it. It takes them like an hour to fix it. The part doesn't really fit. It's for like a slightly different model, but they just kind of like kept cramming it in to make it fit. And then it's already like 4:30 and it gets dark at about 6. So whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll try again. I'll just hurry up. And I crash in the exact same spot. But the second time I didn't break anything. And then eventually I make it up this hill. And then at the top is this dirt path. It's like 3 feet wide. But there's a ditch. It's like they have like a bunch of motorcycles go with like a fuckload of luggage that's really heavy and it rains. So there's like a ditch on the left and a ditch on the right, and like rocks everywhere, so you only have about 1 feet wide to ride on, and this is all in the top of the mountains, so there's no guards to the right, so immediately right of the dirt path is a cliff. So if I swerve off to the right, I just fall off the cliff and dive. If I swerve off to the left, I fall into the ditch, and then if I fall to the right after I get to the ditch, I fall to the cliff and dive. Otherwise I just crash and probably break my bike again. So I'm like, all right, I don't want to die. So I start pushing it down the mountain, which was a huge mistake because I was optimistic. I was like, oh, okay, there's going to be like a paved road very soon. So I push it down half the mountain. Then this guy's like, oh, let me help you. And then he helps me push it all the way down to the bottom of the mountain. And then at the bottom of the mountain, there's no roads or anything. It's just a river. Like a really wide river. So they ferry over this. The river's moving pretty fast too. So they ferry over this bamboo raft, and it's the river's moving so fast that you can't even pedal on it. So it's one of those rafts where they have a rope going across the two banks, like pillar to the two banks, and they pull on the rope. To pull this raft over. So they pull over this bamboo raft, and then they like put my bike on it, and then the three of us gets on, and then we get to the other side. They're like, all right, ready, and then it's just like the same thing that I went down, except I have to go up. I'm like, no, I can't do that. So like I try to pay them a little bit of money for them to help me get it up. So they helped me get it up a little bit, and I mean, part of it is I suck at riding, but my bike is like a $350 road bike. Like the bike can't, like the locals were struggling with the bike too. So eventually it's like 7:30 and we make it up like a little bit with my bike, and it's like it's pitch black, dark, and they go to sleep. So I asked, can I sleep like at one of your places? They're like, sure. So I sleep in this guy's place. It's a shed. The ground is dirt. They have electricity, but they have no running water, no Wi-Fi, no TV. I guess it's in the mountains. Like in most places in Vietnam, if it's not in the mountains, they would have TV and running water. If it's near a highway, especially. So maybe not if you go off a highway. So he like finds some cardboard boxes and puts that on the dirt, and I slept on that. And he gave me some blankets. It wasn't that uncomfortable. And then the next morning, I start going and I still can't do it. Like the roads are a little bit better. The roads aren't easier. It's just a little bit safer because there were more sections where it's not road cliff. It's like road, a bush, and then cliff. But I still can't make it up. So my bike is a problem. Like it just stalls super easily. I think it's just like the motor's not very powerful. So if there's a ditch, I go down fine, and then as soon as I try to come up, it stalls. And the other thing wrong with my bike is the brakes don't really work. So if I'm going down a hill, it's just really, I just can't really, I can't instantly brake. It's like, if I squeeze it kind of hard, it doesn't do much, and if I squeeze it really, really hard, it breaks a little bit. So I'm like, fuck, and it was like 5:30 a.m. I mean, I tried by myself for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, I can't do it. So I paid this guy 500k dong, Vietnamese dong, which is about like 22 bucks. But purchasing power parity, it's probably like $100. But they also make a lot less, so they probably make that in like more than a week, I think. So I paid like a week's salary to this guy to like ride my bike and me and my bag, which isn't that heavy, to the town. And this new guy was really good at riding. So to get around, like he was much better on the bike than the other two people. By the way, all of these village people, so they don't have TV, they don't have Wi-Fi, but all of their bikes are like 3 times more expensive and like much better than mine, 3 times more expensive than mine. So I think it's just like in the mountains, that's what they do. And these people, they start riding bikes in the mountains, in the dirt paths, starting when they're like 10. I see like 10-year-old kids like riding around in the mountains with a bike. Anyway, so I paid this guy to ride me out because I can't do it, and he goes through a fuckload of like ditches uphill where it's like 1 feet wide. There's a bunch of just like still water that collected because of like a ditch, whatever, and there were sections where it's like, I would say maybe like 20 meters of still water, and he rolled across that fine without stalling. Like you can't, in the still water, you can't see what's underneath. You just have to like feel what's happening and adjust. And then he did this thing to make my bike not stall, I think, where if it seemed like it was starting to stall, I don't know if this is what he did. Maybe he just changed down. But I thought he did a lot of it in first gear. But if he thought what he might have done is if it was about to stall, he engaged the clutch or rev the engine, then let go of the clutch and let the high RPM engine like kick in again. That might have helped. Anyways, it took him like, I mean, he was going really fast. This guy was a really good rider, and it took him like, I want to say like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to get me back to the city. And then I had to ride another 3 hours to get to this main city that he just dropped me off at, like where they have paved roads again. Yeah, so I'm finally safe. I got bruises like all over again. I wore these knee-high socks, so I had bruised my shin, my calf area was super like bloody. So to cover that up, because I don't want to get infected, I wore these knee-high socks. And then today, when I was showering, I took out the socks, and I think because I had those socks on for 2 whole days while I was bleeding, this scab like infused with the socks, so I completely just like dragged the scab off with the socks, and then I just started gushing blood out of my calf again. But it's fine now. It's all fine now. I'm in the city now. I'm at a restaurant. So yeah, that was an insane series of 2 days.